Hello, in this video we're going to talk about why it's not a good idea to edit, rename, or delete any existing line items in certain areas of ResponsiBid without first understanding the consequences. Because doing so will definitely affect either your reporting or your customers' data. So let me explain what I mean. As you can see here in this dashboard graph, we're using lots of different names that represent lots of different data. Well, if I go into the settings in the form builder, I can edit the names of these items. So for example, if I change the name Google to Google Search, then everything in this data pile will now be attributed to Google Search. Well, in that case, I didn't change the meaning of what I wrote here. I just changed the wording of it. Same with Angie's List. I could change Angie's List to a one-word item here. So I can make it A-N-G-I-E, no apostrophe S, and then no space L-I-S-T. And it would mean exactly the same thing. It would just be spelled differently, and it would retain all of the data that you see here and all of the customers that you go into their profile. And when you see how someone heard about you, and in this case it is Angie's List, it would just simply rename it to Angie's List, all one word. But think about the devastation that would happen if I went in and changed Angie's List to be something like Yelp, or if I changed it to say something like an actual realtor's name that I'm trying to get it from. By renaming it, that realtor or Yelp would get all of the credit for having Angie's List, because I didn't just change what it said, I actually changed what it meant. And as you know, sometimes what you say and what you mean can be totally different. Well, ResponsiBid treats all this data as if it's this thing. And when you rename that thing, if it doesn't mean the same thing, ResponsiBid doesn't know any different. So let me show you what I mean. If we go into the form builder and we scroll to the bottom, this has a lot of service areas in this account. But if we go to lead generation, you'll see that I just have a few lead sources here. And it might be tempting to go in and say, oh, I don't use that anymore. I'm going to call it something different. Well, if I used it in the past, it's going to go in and change it for all of the customers that used that in the past, and all of my reporting will automatically give credit to the thing that I added. Now, if I delete it, the reporting in the customer still has access to this information, but it won't be available anymore in the future. So I'd simply want to add a new option, and just like so, and give it its new name. And now everything will exist great, because you can affect past customers and past reporting data. Now, of course, moving forward, the customers would think that it's a certain thing and in the smart form of the lightbox, and as they fill out the form, it would mean that same thing to them. So what other areas act the same way? Well, service areas act exactly the same way. In this case, I've got lots and lots of service areas on this company, so I'm not going to take you through all that. But you can see here, if I changed Beverly Hills, California to Phoenix, Arizona, well, guess what? Every customer who came in under Beverly Hills, California will now be in Phoenix, Arizona. And if I change these minimums or this trip charge for Phoenix, Arizona, it will go back, and if I recalculate a bid for somebody who used to be in Beverly Hills, California, it will affect them. So this would be another example of where deleting it would be preferable to naming it to something different. Again, don't forget, you can change what it says, but you can't change what it means if it's been used in the past. Okay, so that's service areas. Another place that this could haunt you is in your actual services. So let's go back to this famous lawn care module we've been using for some other examples lately. And in step 2, you can see that I can add new areas. If I change the word front yard in this measurement area to say something different, just know that everybody who's selected front yard in the past is now going to change to that thing as well. And sure, going forward, this will be gone and the new thing will be there, but it'll act exactly like lead sources and service areas. Another one is in the case where you have people count how many. Window cleaning is a perfect example as well. If you go in and you change the image to something different and you change the popover description, for example here in Hedges, and you change the picture and then you go in and change the actual words, sure, it'll mean that to the people in the future, but all the people in the past who've told you that they have 15 linear feet of hedges will now be accompanying a different image and a different popover, and you'll try to figure out why they said they had 15 of whatever this new thing is that you said, and they didn't. So the preferable way to deal with this would be to simply delete rose bushes. Notice that if I show deleted items, there it is. I can reactivate it. That'll allow it to stay in people's profiles who have selected that they had that feature in the past. And then you can just add a new item right here. And when you add your new item, you can give it the picture that needs to correspond with it, and you can give it the description, and it'll be great because it'll move forward in the future. Of course, you can move things in the order that you want the most. So if you want to have your tall trees up here, your medium trees here, and your short trees here, well, they're all in the right order, and you accomplished everything that you needed to without changing their meanings. So make sure that you're always careful to only delete things that you truly want to delete, and don't rename the meaning of something that should always remain as it is. It won't haunt you if people haven't ever chosen it before, but keep in mind, especially for some of you that have been around for a long time, when we ported over all the legacy items, of your legacy bids, all of those old bids came in using these mapped fields. So even if this is the first time you're using the module builder, all of your old items got mapped to these fields, and they've been used probably many, many, many times. So it's not a good practice to go around changing things. You can add conditions as necessary, and you can add, change what something says, but you can't change what it means. I hope that makes sense. And of course, if you ever have any questions, you can always chat with us right here, or you can simply just head over to the documentation site and look up other questions that you might have. We're happy to help in any way that would work for you, and we look forward to talking to you soon.